Board members, may I have a motion to reconvene in open session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The board is now in open session. Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution certifying the closed session?
Now therefore be it resolved that the school board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board.
Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters,
Aye.
Stephen Pronto,
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens,
Aye.
Ann Coker,
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the first personnel matter?
In case number 2023-24/73-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters,
Aye.
Stephen Pronto,
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens,
Aye.
Ann Coker,
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the next personnel matter?
In case number 2023-24/74-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters,
Aye.
Stephen Pronto,
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens,
Aye.
Ann Coker,
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the next personnel matter?
In case number 2023-24/75-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters,
Aye.
Stephen Pronto,
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens,
Aye.
Ann Coker,
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the next personnel matter?
In case number 2023-24/76-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters,
Aye.
Stephen Pronto,
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens,
Aye.
Ann Coker,
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the June 4th, 2024 School Board Business Meeting to order. Before we begin the meeting this evening, I would like to thank everyone for their attending and reminding the audience that comments to the board may only be made at the podium during the public comment period. Comments from the audience are prohibited and are in violation of Section 18.2-415 of the Code of Virginia, Disorderly Conduct in Public Places, and School Board Policy 6141. I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding so that we can conduct the business meeting in an orderly fashion. Babies are excused from that request. We will now have an invocation by Ms. Coker, followed by a flag salute led by Mr. Pronto.
Before tonight's invocation, I would like to recognize with a moment of silence the passing of Mercy Hoff, a teacher at Falling Creek Middle School who joined CCPS on August 1st, 2022. Please join us in a moment of silence. Dear God, as we gather here this evening, we humbly seek your wisdom and guidance. Grant us the clarity of mind to make decisions that benefit our students and our educational community. May your light shine upon our decisions, illuminate the path towards excellence in education, grant us the wisdom to find common ground and make decisions that benefit all. Let our actions be a testament to the power of collaboration and cooperation. As our school year ends, we are grateful for our dedicated educators, accomplished students, and supportive families that make our school division thrive. May your grace continue to shine on them, guide them, and keep them safe. Amen.
Would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's consent agenda includes The agenda adoption, approval of the minutes from the May 14, 2024 work session and the May 14, 2024 business meeting. Memo number 7524, recommended personnel actions. Memo number 7624, acceptance of new grants. Memo number 7724, acceptance of donations. Memo number 7824, approval of FY25 internal audit plan. Memo number 7924, appointment and reappointment of members to school board advisory committees. Memo 80-24, adoption of the 25-26 CCPS school calendar. And memo number 81-24, revisions to the school board code of conduct and governance handbook. Are there any additions or corrections to the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, there are no additions or corrections to the consent agenda.
Are there any requests from a school board member to separate an item from the consent agenda for discussion and individual action? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Todd Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Mr. Smith, would you please announce our new administrators?
With the board's vote this evening, Dr. John Murray was approved as the Deputy Superintendent effective July 1, 2024. Dr. Murray received his doctorate degree in leadership from VCU, as well as his Master's of Education and Educational Leadership from VCU, as well as his Bachelor of Science, Liberal Studies from Longhorn University. Currently serving as Executive Director of Constituent Services, Dr. Murray also serves as the Director of Middle School Leadership, Principal at our high school, Principal at a middle school, teacher, and is a graduate of Chesterfield County Public Schools. Please join me in congratulating Dr. John Murray.
Congratulations, Dr. Murray. Next, we have awards and recognitions. Mr. Smith.
We have a number of recognitions this evening. First up, I've asked Walker Wilson to come forward at this time. Right there. Walker Wilson is a spelling champion. In January, the Salem Church Middle 8th grader correctly spelled syndicate to win the Chesterfield County Spelling Bee on January 25. That success qualified Walker to compete in the regional spelling bee in March against students representing 22 other Central Virginia school systems. At that event, Walker won the regional spelling bee and qualified to compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. Walker is one of only 245 students who competed May 28th through 30th at the National Spelling Bee. Please join me in congratulating Walker Wilson.
So, keeping with my trend, I have a poem, right? So it goes, roses are red, ferns are green, you're the best speller we've ever seen. And now as a bonus, you get a dozen donuts if you spell this word right. You ready? Onomatopoeia. No, I'm kidding.
I know how to spell it. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia.
So he's very polite, because if that was me, I would have dropped the mic after I spelled it. Thank you so much for representing so well, and I will make sure that I get you your dozen donuts. Congratulations. Now, do you want to tell us about your experience? What was the best part about the whole thing?
I don't even know. I don't. Making friends.
Thank you. Give it up for Walker one more time.
If I could ask the Fallen Creek Middle Chorus team to come forward at this time.
Stay right there.
Congratulations to the Fallen Creek Middle Chorus, led by chorus teacher Willie Griffin. The chorus won the top recognition in several competitions, including Music in the Parks event at the Six Flags America, where Fallen Creek Middle won first place in mixed choir, first place in women's choir, and first place in men's choir, and also won the Esprit Decor Award. Music in the Parks event at Busch Gardens, where Fallen Creek Middle won first place in women's choir, first place in men's choir, first place in jazz choir, and second place in mixed choir. And then at the Festival of Music at Kings Dominion, where Fallen Creek Middle earned an excellent rating. Please join me in congratulating the Fallen Creek Middle Chorus.
So talented is an understatement, right? We go places, we take first place, we come back home with the brass. It's a great experience. I would ask y'all to sing right now, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to you. But what I would like to know is, what was your favorite song during the competition? So you tell us your name and what grade and your favorite song.
My name is Nigel Cambridge, and the grade I was in before, it was 7th grade. My favorite song was Gloria.
My name is Amir Gainey. I'm in 6th grade, and it was Joyful.
My name is Winter Page, and I am from 6th grade, and my favorite song was Unity.
My name is Aaliyah Reyes. I'm in 6th grade, and my favorite song was Dance.
I'm Josiah Thompson. I'm in 6th grade, and my favorite song was Unity.
I'm Angela, and I'm going to 9th, and my favorite song was Winter Stars.
My name is Lila Jackson. I was in 8th, and my favorite song was Dance.
My name is Jeremiah Cosby, and I was in 8th, and my favorite song was Weatherman.
My name is Destiny Polio. I'm in 6th grade, and my favorite song was Unity.
My name's Alexandria Johnson. I'm going into 8th, and mine was Swinging with the Beatles.
My name is Tamari Link. I'm in 7th grade. My favorite song was also Swinging with the Beatles.
What was your best part?
The best part was giving them the opportunity to do all these different things and go all these different places. And so I want to thank the parents and the community who have supported these things to make them possible for our students.
Thank you.
Next up, we're going to do our teacher awards. So if I can ask for our gifted education, performing arts, visual arts, and world language teachers to come forward this time. Each year, Chesterfield County Public Schools recognizes outstanding teachers for their unparalleled abilities, dedication, and success. Tonight, we congratulate these award winners. From Gifted Education, Elementary Outstanding Teacher of the Gifted, Mary Procopio, Greenfield Elementary. Secondary Outstanding Teacher of the Gifted, Christina Owens of Midlothian Middle. Performing Arts Leadership Award, Rob Ellis, Cosby High Teacher, Theater, and Department Chair for the Fine and Performing Arts. Performing Arts Novice Teacher Award, John Donnell, First Year Teacher of Band and Music Technology at James River High School. Performing Arts Unsung Hero Award, Emily Owen, Bird High Band Teacher. Performing Arts Teachers of the Year, 2 winners, Connor Thompson, Guitar Teacher at Elizabeth Davis Middle. Joanna Chocolate, Dance Teacher at Thomasdale High. From Visual Arts, Elementary Visual Art Educator of the Year, Bridget Hendricks of Old Hundred Elementary. Middle School Visual Art Educator of the Year, Lydia Walters of Elizabeth Davis Middle. High School Visual Art Educator of the Year, Vicki Kirtley of Clover Hill High. And from World Language, the Jane Baskerville Excellent in Teaching Award, Tessa Wilkie, German teacher at Manchester High, Jane Crouch Reader Excellence in Teaching Award, Amira Makata Osorio, Spanish and Heritage teacher at Midlothian High, Exceptional World Language Leader Award, Kelly Burleson, Latin teacher and World Languages Department Leader at Manchester Middle, and the Novice Teacher Award, Nick Barker, Spanish teacher at Clover Hill High School. Please join me in congratulating these educators.
Thank you.
So this is such a lineup. You guys, I'm not even, I don't know if I have enough pens over here. These, so one of you used to be my colleague, and we would have a contest to see who was the queen and who was the princess, and she is La Reina, so congratulate the queen. And I am only the princess, but if you all are anything like this woman, I am in rare company. Thank you for doing everything that you do to make CCPS as excellent as it is. It's unbelievable, and I am so thankful to be a part of this, and on behalf of the school board, we just appreciate you, and we thank you so much. Congratulations. So, now comes a part where you guys, I know y'all speak for a living, so I'm thinking you might want to do this. So just say a little something. Yeah, there you go.
My name is Emily Oyen. I was the director of bands at Elsie Bird High School, and I'll be at Midlothian Middle School next year. And I am honored to be here.
Hi, I'm Joanna Chocolate, and I am the dance teacher at Thomas Dale Specialty Center for the Arts. And yes, I'm really honored to receive this award, and it's a joy to be able to bring dance to the students at Thomas Dale. So thank you.
I'm Connor Thompson. I teach guitar at Elizabeth Davis, and I've just been really excited this year to see how many kids come to guitar to play because it's fun, even when they don't have to be there. It's a great thing.
Hi, I'm Tessa Wilkie from Manchester High School, the German teacher, and I have a fabulous team of teachers in my department, and I have a fabulous set of students in my classroom, and I owe it all to them.
Hi, I'm Rob Ellis. I teach theater at Cosby High School. I'm the department chair for visual and performing arts, and I am incredibly lucky to work with some of the most amazing and amazingly talented people anywhere.
Hi, I'm Vicki Kirtley from Clover Hill High School. I've been teaching in the county for 30 years, art at Clover Hill High School. I teach 3D design and crafts. I love my school. I love the kids that we have. We have such talented kids, and I'm just happy every day when I go. So I can't ask for more.
I'm Bridget Hendricks. I'm at Old 100 Elementary School, and I've just been honored to have such great support for my arts department from my administration, from our families, and from all the kids always excited to come in.
Thank you. My name is Amira del Carmen Moncada Osorio, and I'm very, very honored and proud to be here representing Midlothian High School, of course. And like I said to my amazing department leader, no one is no one without a team. And I'm part of a great team, and I'm so proud that I can teach my culture and my language, and the kids can be joyful with that, and that makes everything worth it. Thank you.
Kelly Burleson, I'm a Latin teacher and department chair from Manchester Middle, and I just wanted to thank my principal and the other administrators from my school for helping me to grow with leadership opportunities, and I've really enjoyed that.
Christina Owens, I'm from Midlothian Middle School. I teach in the gifted program and the department chair. I'll be heading to Elsie Bird next year, so we're switching places. But you're going to a great community. I've had tons of support, and I'm really grateful to have been in such a wonderful school for so long.
Hi, I'm Mary Procopio. I'm from Greenfield Elementary, and unlike all these fabulous people, I have the little ones. But it is really fun to see their talent and their, just the wonder, and they just love to learn. So I like to ignite that spark when they're little, and I'll send them on to all of you.
Hi, I'm John Donnell. I teach band and drumline and music technology at James River High School, and I feel really lucky that this is where I get to be first year of teaching, and I look forward to much more.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Is that it?
If I could ask Nina Brink to come forward this time. Gates Elementary Principal Nina Brink is the 2024 National Distinguished Principal for Virginia. Representatives of the Virginia Association of Elementary School Principals joined CCPS leaders to surprise Nina with the good news earlier this year. Nina served as principal of Gates Elementary since 2010. Previously, she was the school's assistant principal. She's the third Chesterfield County Public Schools principal to receive the award. Linda Wood of Harrogate Elementary won in 2011, and Pamela Johnson of Falling Creek Elementary won in 2015. Please join me in congratulating Nina Brink.
So I borrowed a few words from another poet because I couldn't think the right words to say about you today. And it's called I Hope You Know. Maybe. I hope you know how much you're loved, how many people care, how often someone says your name whispered in a prayer. I hope you know how many lives you've touched and the things that you do, how high the hopes are and the deepness that runs true. I hope you know how heaven sees the difference you make in every child's life. I hope you know how God's love for you is spreading through Gates, and for you to know that everything you do matters to every single one of your children at OB Gates Elementary.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give her the mic.
Well, it is kind of an emotional day, I have to say, Dr. D and school board, because our teachers left today. And so Friday, the children leave, there are tears. And then today, for me, the building clears. So tonight I sat in the building, got ready for the school board meeting, and just really processed what an amazing year it's been. Not the award, but watching my teachers grow with all the new initiatives this year and embrace them and really run with it. And most importantly, watching our children thrive as we recommit to engage our school community and really embrace bringing community back into OB Gates. So thank you everyone for this wonderful opportunity. And I look forward to representing Virginia and Washington, D.C. next year, and I'm going for it. Thank you again.
Next up, we're going to do our Heart Safe Schools Awards, if folks can come forward this time. Six high schools in Chesterfield County Public Schools have achieved designation as Heart Safe Schools through Project Adam. This means the schools have taken steps to implement a quality sudden cardiac arrest program to promote a safe environment for students, staff, and visitors. Congratulations to these schools for being prepared in the event of a cardiac arrest. Meadowbrook High School, Cliverhill High School, James River High School, Matoaka High School, Midlothian High School, and Monacan High School. Virginia Project Adam is led by the Children's Hospital Richmond, and Dr. John Phillips is representing the hospital. Please join me in congratulating these schools.
In any situation, you don't really think about an emergency until it happens. So to plan and prepare and to think outside the box obviously is extremely important. And so we are very grateful, one, for Project Adam. For those who may not be familiar with this, with Project Adam, we're talking about AED machines, the ability to revive someone and to render them aid immediately. And so the people that you see standing in front of you and their staff have committed to make sure that their schools are properly prepared and ready to meet those challenges should they arise. Again, nothing that we ever think about or want to see happen, but when it does, we have great commitment from Chesterfield County Public Schools and our partnership with local hospitals and healthcare systems to be able to respond accurately and correctly. So. Congratulations. Thank you for everything that each one of you do in contributing to that success within our schools. And just briefly, please introduce yourself and what is it about this experience that drives you?
Craig Reed, principal of Meadowbrook High School. This has been an exciting experience for our school because it's allowed us to come together and, as you said, prepare for our students if in the case of an emergency. So it's just been a wonderful experience to know that we have a safe environment for our students.
I'm Leslie Jones, Dean of Students at Midlothian High School. The best part of the experience is really just working with the students and our nurse who really came together to lead this initiative. Just knowing that we have a trusted team of teachers and our nurse that can come together and help our students and staff in case of an emergency.
I'm Linda Schack, school nurse from Midlothian High School, and I am just thrilled that we have Project Adam in our building, and Leslie Jones, our Dean of Students, our AP, and Dr. Abel supported it, and we have such a positive team. We have 10 team members of teachers and others that make up this team, and they never said no. They said, yes, what do I need to be a part of this team? And I'm so grateful for them, that we're there for an emergency should it arise.
John Phillips, principal of Clover Hill High School, and I surround myself with great leaders, and I say yes when they come to us with ideas that can save children. And I'm going to pass it off to my great leader.
Katie White, school nurse at Clover Hill High School. The best part has just been everyone working together. And again, like Linda said, no one said no, and just my hope is we never have to use it.
William Burroughs from Monacan High School, and I would say the same. Nurse Jager couldn't be here tonight, but she definitely spearheaded the initiative and coached and mentored all of us so that we are always prepared.
I'm Chris Foster, one of the nurses at Matoaka High School. This process was a little difficult. I'm glad we made it. It's very important for our community, our schools to be safe. And I'm just fortunate to be part of a wonderful team.
Elizabeth Baber, proud principal, Matoaka High School. And I think this just kind of reiterates what we all know about Matoaka already. We are a strong community, and this is just another example of how we are all in for our kids.
Angie Poole, and I'm the special needs nurse at Matoaka High School. And yes, we have a great team that works there. We practiced at least 4 or 5 drills before we were certified, and it was a great experience for us individually as well as for our school.
I'm Megan Bonfili. I'm the school nurse at James River High School. I would like to use this opportunity to implore you all to become CPR certified, AED certified, and to know where the AEDs are located in the buildings that you work in. We all know that a rapid response with CPR and the use of an AED can possibly save a life.
Mike Farrell, Associate Principal, James River High School. Obviously, I would echo everything that Ms. Bonfili said, but anything that we can do in our buildings to keep the kids even safer than we normally do, we're all on board. So we appreciate the efforts of all of our staff.
Please give them another round of applause. And I apologize. We have a few more words.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. John Phillips, not the original John Phillips, apparently. So I am a pediatric cardiologist and electrophysiologist at the Children's Hospital Richmond at VCU. I'm also the medical director for the Virginia affiliate to Project Adam. As was mentioned, Project Adam is a national program that helps schools become educated, prepared, and practiced for sudden cardiac arrest. And I have to tell you that Chesterfield County is by far the most exemplary county in the state thus far. You have the most schools designated within the state, including those working towards receiving the full designation. And we have to remember Heather Snyder here, who's led it all. He invited me to a meeting last summer to get it started. So I have to say thank you very much. I'm going to mention one thing. This is wonderful that these schools have become prepared to make it safer for the students to be there. But I will tell you that 2/3 of all sudden cardiac arrest that occurs on school campuses are adults. And 20% of our communities at any given time during the day is on school grounds. So certainly these leaders have made our schools safer for our children, but they've made it safer for the faculty, staff, visitors, and the entire community, because what they've learned through Project Adam, they will now take out into the community and make it safer. So thank you all so much for the work you've put into it. Thank you for the leadership. We're going to keep moving on Chesterfield. I have a feeling I'll be back again next year to bring a lot more of these banners, and I hope you fly them high because you certainly deserve the recognition. Thanks very much.
If I could ask our Food and Nutrition Services team to come forward this time. Congratulations to the Food and Nutrition Services team and its Summer Farmers Market lunch site for winning national recognition. Only 55 programs across the United States achieve gold level status in the Turn Up the Beats Awards sponsored by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The awards honor summer meal programs that go the extra mile, and CCPS Food and Nutrition Services definitely does that by providing delicious, nutritious lunches at the Chesterfield Farmers Market. Each summer menu was planned with the child's palate in mind, along with the goal of providing fresh items with pizzazz. Please join me in congratulating the team.
First, I just want to start by saying what a cool award name to Turn Up the Beat. But congratulations to you all. Our food and nutrition department doesn't stop at the end of the school year. They continue to feed our students throughout the summer. I encourage everyone, and they also win some amazing awards, but I also encourage everyone to go out and see them at the Chesterfield Farmers Market. It starts tomorrow at 11 a.m. And if you would like to maybe share a little bit of what people can experience when they come to the farmers market, some of the yummy things that you'll be serving to the community. And your name, of course.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Boatwright. I'm assistant manager at Providence Middle School, and unfortunately I will not be at the farmers market. But what I do enjoy about my job is when the students come by and say thank you after they receive their breakfast or lunch, and they'll say good morning, and that's very heartwarming to have them to appreciate what is being served to them.
Hi, I'm Ronnie LaPelle. I'm marketing specialist for the department, and I love this project, working with Casey and Berkeley to come up with I call it a legacy project. We started last year, and who would imagine our first year out that we would have won a national award? And here we are already building on it this year. And for years to come, I mean, they are looking for us at the farmers market. Everybody has been waiting for us, and we are going to be there tomorrow. So if you're available, come and see us. We have a great menu. Casey creates the menus. They're fantastic. They're interesting, and it allows us to have those great conversations with parents. What I like is that it actually, you know, it benefits the school meal program and enhances us, the department. You know, they may have their perception of what school food service is, but once they see what we're serving and gives a chance to talk with us and learn more about the department, it really makes a difference. So thank you very much.
Hi, Casey Dickinson, Assistant Director of Food and Nutrition Services. I always say that school's out, but hunger's not. So this farmers market site for us has been an opportunity to really be a partner of education and teach kids in our community about where their food comes from and give them quality, good, healthy meals. And the bonus to it all is we get to also support our local economy. And so it's really the epitome of it takes a village. I really, truly think that our farmers market feeding site is the village of our community supporting our students.
Congratulations again. And everybody go check them out tomorrow starting at 11.
If I could ask John Moody and Robert Neely to come forward this time. Each year, the Employer Accommodation Program of the Virginia School Board Association provides school board members an opportunity to thank their employers for providing the support and encouragement that is often needed to perform school board duties. Their support is an integral part of public education, which is a cornerstone of our community. We recognize tonight ITAC for supporting School Board Vice Chair Ann Coker, who is in her second term representing the Bermuda District. ITAC Vice President John Moody is here to accept this recognition. We also recognize the Army Sustainment University for supporting School Board member Dominique Chatters, who's in her first term representing the Dale District. Here to accept this recognition is Robert Neely, Dean of the College of Applied Logistics and Operational Science. Please join me in congratulating these two employers.
I think I'll go first in saying my thank you to ITAC and specifically to John Moody for supporting me as I continue to be on the school board and do something that is in my heart and my passion to give back to the community. And I could not do it without the encouragement, the positivity that ITAC gives me every day to be able to do this. And I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. Do you want to say anything? Put you on the spot.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the recognition the company does. But Ann, I want to tell you to go back for a second term and spend your time at work and then spend your time away from your family to put the effort in for the Chesterfield County Public Schools, the families, the students, the teachers. It's really making it easy for us to allow this to happen, so I certainly appreciate it.
And I just want to make one correction. He is the associate dean of our college. I mean, he can have that dean job too if he really wanted it. But I just want to say thank you. Before I even became a school board member, during our staff meetings, Dr. Neely would let me give them some updates on what's going on in Chesterfield County Public Schools, as if that was something everybody wanted to know. But it was just prepping me for sitting in the position that I'm in, and I'm grateful for the flexibility that you offered and the counsel that you offered, pushing me to do things that I probably didn't want to do, but in hindsight, were better for me to do. And then putting up with me, because I know I'm not the easiest person to have as a team member, right? Okay, but I just want to say thank you, and this is for you. And of course, we're gonna put you on the spot as well.
So thank you for this, and thank you, Dominique. It is an honor to receive this, but yeah, I enjoyed almost every minute working with you. No, no, almost. No, there's light. No, I'm going to turn it around and say I thank you for the 4 years we worked together. You're a professional, you're an educator, and what you have done for the community and for our university is thanks aren't enough. So appreciate that immensely. So thank you.
Dr. Fry will present for outstanding drivers.
Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Daugherty, and Mr. Roberts, it's my pleasure this evening to present to you our Drivers of the Month. But before I do that, I just want to thank all of our drivers that participated in our Drivers Rodeo that occurred yesterday. It was a great opportunity for our drivers to come together and be involved in a competition that tested their skills in an obstacle course. We had a very special guest there yesterday who did a fabulous job but was unable to receive her award today. So, Dot Heffron, thank you so much for participating. She did a great job. In all seriousness, I think that of the individuals that came out and drove without a CDL, I think she probably did the best, and that job offer is still on the table. All right. We have a lot of fabulous drivers in Chesterfield County Public Schools, and I'm proud to say that in our last semester, we achieved a 97% on-time arrival rate due to these folks right here. They get up early every morning, stay late, and make sure our kids get to school every single day. And it's hard to narrow that down to just 5 drivers a month when everyone's so great. But the managers did it. And I'd like to present to you today those individuals. First of all, Halcon Brown, Area 1, Bus 646, 6 months of service. Hal says he enjoys working with the kids of different ages and having a positive impact. Christopher Welty, Area 2, Bus 711, 4 months of service. Accepting his award is our Area 2 manager, Ron Arena. Christopher says that he always knew that his final full-time job would be a school bus driver because being a positive person in a kid's life and getting them to school and sporting events safely are things that make him happy. Charlene Rogers, Area 3, Bus 781, 18 years of service. Charlene told us that she enjoys working with kids and trying to make a difference in their lives. She does this by bringing a smile to work each day to show students she cares. Aisha Ford, Area 4, Bus 152, 2 years of service. Her area manager says Aisha is a wonderful driver who thrives on doing her best. She always has her students' best interest at heart, and that's probably why the ECOF parents nominated her for this award. Lee Huben, Area 5, Bus 319, 9 months of service. Lee says children with special needs have a special place in her heart, and they always brighten her day. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, and I'm kind of piggybacking off of my colleague over here and have something to read about bus drivers. I'm not a teacher, but you will learn from me. I'm not a taxi driver, but I will get you where you need to go. I'm not a referee, but I'll stop your game when you're not playing fair. I'm not a counselor, but I will listen when you are sad. I'm not your parent, but I will act like one. I'm not a nurse, but I will fix your boo-boos. I'm not a police officer, but I will protect you like one. I am your bus driver, and much more. So thank you all so much for everything that you do each and every day to get our kids to school and from school safely to their homes. We could not do it without you. You start our day and you end our day. So if you'd like to take a moment and just say your name and what gets you up in the morning and gets you on that bus.
Well, my wife gets me up in the morning out of the bed. No. But the challenge for me, I've been in the military for a few years. I've owned my own business for 17 years. I'm a retired operations leader for a major manufacturing company. But none of that has prepared me for a bus full of elementary school students. But it's so rewarding. They come on and, I'm tying shoes, I'm passing out napkins for snot, and they want to give it back. No, trash can. Yeah, but I wouldn't change this for anything. Out of all my experiences, this has got to be the most best, and it has to be the most rewarding. I get up and I look forward to each and every day, and I have a fantastic area manager in Candace. And she told me when I first got there, I made a mistake. I missed a couple of stops. And she said, "You worn out your favors, that's it. You can't miss any more stops." And I have not missed one, or at least I didn't call in that I missed one, right? But I'm enjoying it. And like I said, I wouldn't change this for the world. Thank you all.
Hi, I'm Charlene Rogers, and I've been driving for quite some time, and I've been doing activities as well as regular routes, and it's just the smiles that those kids come on each day, and they leave us each day, and like he said, tending to their needs, giving them the support, telling them they have a good day. We're the first person they see and the last person, and the hugs when they get off at the end of the year. They cry, I cry, we all cried.
My name is Aisha Ford, and I enjoy driving the bus because of the children. They really warm my heart. I know that children are the future, and I want to do my part, even if it's just a small part.
My name is Lee Huband, and I've been driving for a short time. I enjoy getting up in the morning. My favorite is starting the bus and going to get my kids. They always smile. They put me in a good mood, and I just love them.
As Dr. Fry said, I'm one of the area managers, which means I do not work as hard as they do, nor am I nearly as important as they are. So I just want to look at you guys and say thank you. You work harder than I ever could, and don't forget to come back next year. Please.
Thank you and congratulations.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Doherty, Mr. Roberts. Thank you as always for the opportunity to recognize some of our outstanding food and nutrition services team members. The end of every academic year is certainly a strange time of dichotomy. We often oscillate between reflection on the journey we've just undertaken and the unlimited possibilities that lie before us. While our department prioritizes innovation and ways that we can continue to evolve, it's important that we not lose sight of how we got in a place where those things are possible in the first place. During the 22-23 academic year, we served just over 8.5 million meals. Breakfast, lunches, snacks, and dinners, all for our students. This accounted for the highest number of meals we had ever served in our department's history. I'm happy to report that for the 23-24 school year, our department served over 8.9 million meals. This accounts for 20,940 40 meals served by each one of our 425 employees. While we are well into planning for the 24-25 school year, it would be irresponsible not to recognize the tremendous effort required to achieve such numbers. I cannot thank our team enough for their hard work, dedication, and the overwhelming care they show for our students. We have 6 honorees with us this evening. As I call your name, please come forward. First, we have Monica Goff. Ms. Goff is a food service associate at Elizabeth Davis Middle School. She's been with the county for 11 years. And she says, first of all, I love the fast pace. It keeps me engaged and challenged. I love interacting with the children, particularly those in middle school. It's something I find incredibly rewarding. And finally, having the summers off and weekends off is a great perk. Next, we have Deborah Jackson. Ms. Jackson is assistant manager at Clover Hill Elementary School. She's been with the county for 1 year. She says, the greatest thing about my job is serving the students. There was something I taught my children as they were growing up, and I still stand by this belief today, that it's not always what you say that makes a difference, but it is how you make a person feel that makes a difference. My greatest joy is working with and serving the children. Next, we have Brittany Hubert. Ms. Hubert is a food service associate at Salem Church Middle School. She's been with the county for 1 year. She says, I enjoy learning how to prepare food that is good for the kids, that they enjoy eating. Having happy, well-fed kids is what my goal is every day. Next, we have Pamela Earhart. Ms. Earhart is the assistant manager at Midlothian High School. She's been with the county for 1 year. And she says, I strongly feel that food is a universal language. Every culture connects with each other by sharing a meal. I enjoy serving the students, making connections, saying their names as they come through the line. Next, we have Gwendolyn Boatwright. Ms. Boatwright is assistant manager at Providence Middle School, and she's been with the county for 2 years. She says, when the students come through the line, they're funny. They always have a joke, or they simply say thank you, whether it's breakfast or lunch. It is a heartwarming experience to me to hear them say thank you. And lastly, I have a central office nominee here with me this evening, Nick Stowe. Mr. Stowe is our technology support analyst. He's been with the county for 2 years. Says the best part about working in technology for food and nutrition services is having the ability to be creative and collaborate with my coworkers to come up with solutions to increase efficiency and create a better experience for the students we serve. So thank you all.
So, Mr. Stowe, I had to apologize. I'm going to leave you out of this one. Not intentionally, though, but I have to tell you, you know, my son, when I ask him, what's his favorite thing during the school day? And now keep in mind, he'll be going in the 4th grade, and he'll immediately say, lunch. That's what he's looking forward to at his age is lunch. I said, well, what about lunch? What do you like about lunch? And he could name the people behind the counter that are serving him. And so as a dad, right, that just empowers you to know that my son is being looked after and cared for and loved, and all of you do that through your own way when you serve. And so I hope you never lose sight of that. We greatly appreciate what you do every day. As was mentioned, there's planning already going on for next year, and you're looking forward to that, I'm sure. But knowing that you have done a great and successful job for this past school year. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say on behalf of all parents, thank you so much for what you do each and every day. And the other thing, too, is you've waited very patiently to receive your awards this evening. So hopefully next go-around, we'll have you come up first. But anyway, just a few moments, if you don't mind, your name, and what is it about what you do that just drives you each day? And Mr. Stowe, we are going to start with you.
Yeah, so again, my name is Nick. I'm the technology support analyst for food nutrition. So what really drives me is, I get a lot of support from leadership. Obviously, these ladies and everybody else that works hard in that department to put meals on the trays every day. To a lot of the students, it's definitely a meal for a lot of people, but also for a lot of students, it's just as much of an experience and escape from, some of the hard work they put in, trying to learn every day. So just the fact that I'm able to be a part of trying to elevate that experience and just help move the department forward and make that better for everybody involved.
Hi, Gwendolyn Boatwright again. What drives me is the students. They're comical, they're witty, and it's just a pleasure to prepare their meals. And it's a lot of cooking. Whew, it really is. Especially sometimes you have to do it by yourself. But it's rewarding to feed them and to know they're getting a nutritious meal.
Hi, I'm Pamela at Midlothian High School. I love being the assistant manager there. We have a great team, and it just makes me feel good. I like to smile at the kids in the morning, and as they come through the breakfast or the lunch line, I like to say, hey, I'm glad you're here today. And, you know, it just makes a difference sometimes. You just have to connect with them. Thank you.
My name is Brittany Hubert, and I'm at Salem Middle, and what drives me is the students. And also,
No worries. Sure.
It's okay. Deborah Jackson, assistant manager at Clover Hill Elementary. And I think what drives me the most is the students. Just the fact that, you know, they come, and some of them come running, you know, because they have certain meals that they love. And, you know, when you see them and they are excited and they are happy about certain things that are going on in their lives, maybe something that happened in their classroom or something, and when they come and they tell you, they share with you what's going on with them, it's exciting to hear. And when they give you the biggest hug, I have certain students, they come and they literally do not, breakfast and lunch, give you the biggest hug before they leave. If you're behind the counter, they come behind the counter, like to come behind the counter sometimes, just to hug you and say, thank you, or, you know, hi, Miss Jackson, how you doing? And so that's beautiful, and I love it. And that's what drives me, I believe.
Let's give our award winners another round of applause. Thank you.
Madam Chair, before you move to the next portion of your meeting, I think you have several different resolutions the board wanted to consider at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Delegate Coiner, would you like the floor? Dr. Dougherty, would you like to join me on the? No. Mr. Holland, I hope you'll join us next.
Good evening. Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Doherty, it is a pleasure to be here with you tonight on behalf of all of my colleagues in the House of Delegates. We were very fortunate when we came back for our budget session to pass a budget, but also an opportunity with the announcement of your retirement, Dr. Doherty, to work together on a resolution honoring your service to not only Chesterfield County, but the Commonwealth. So I would like to read the resolution for the record for the school board. Whereas Mervyn B. Doherty, Superintendent of Chesterfield County Public Schools and an esteemed educator and education administrator who has dedicated nearly a half century to the growth and development of young people, will retire on June 30th, 2024. And whereas affectionately known as Dr. D, Mervyn Merv Doherty holds a doctorate in leadership and education from Wilmington University, as well as a master's degree in administration and supervision from Salisbury University and a bachelor's degree in education from Frostburg State University. And whereas Merv Doherty embarked upon his education career as a high school social studies teacher and coach in Queen Anne's County, Maryland, and went on to assume various leadership roles over the years before ultimately serving as superintendent of Red Clay Consolidated School District in Wilmington, Delaware from 2009 to 2018. And whereas Merv Doherty joined Chesterfield County Public Schools in November 2018 and established the motto, all means all, as an ethos to guide the school district, emphasizing the importance of distributing resources equitably among schools and setting the goal for all students to earn a high school diploma and secure a successful future. And whereas Merv Doherty's many accomplishments as CCPS superintendent include opening the Commonwealth's first recovery high school program to assist students recovering from substance use disorders, and the Commonwealth's first kindergarten through 8th grade virtual school to offer students a wider and more diverse array of educational opportunities. And whereas Merv Doherty has strengthened the CPS community during his tenure by enhancing employee compensation and hiring practices, and by fostering greater communication between the school district and its families and employees. And whereas during Merv Doherty's leadership, CCPS has met the Commonwealth's accreditation standards each year while also earning state and national recognition, including the National ESCA Distinguished School Award in 2019, 2021, and 2023, and the National Blue Ribbon High School Award from the U.S. Department of Education in 2019. And whereas Merv Doherty has received numerous accolades over his career in recognition of his accomplishments as an educator and education administrator, and was honored in 2024 as the Virginia Superintendent of the Year for Region 1 by the Virginia Association of School Superintendents. And whereas through his visionary leadership and tireless devotion to the well-being of students, families, teachers, and staff, Merv Doherty has made a profound and lasting impact on the Chesterfield County community. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Delegates that Mervyn B. Doherty, Superintendent of Chesterfield County Public Schools, hereby be commended on the occasion of his retirement. And be it resolved further that the Clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to Mervyn Doherty as an expression of the House of Delegates' admiration for his contributions to the Commonwealth. I would like to come join you, if I may, Madam Chair. So, Dr. Doherty, I know you don't like surprises, but I was here in 2018 when we hired you, and it was a wonderful decision for our community. It has been an honor to serve alongside you, both on the school board and in the House. I'm so happy to see that you are going to get to go and enjoy some relaxation, because most folks don't realize how it weighs on you to be responsible for so many thousands of kids each and every day. When you get up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, you're always thinking about the little people in our community. So on behalf of the House of Delegates, congratulations on your retirement.
Congratulations, Dr. Doherty, on your recognition. Mr. Holland, would you like to join us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and to the members of the board. Thank you all for the outstanding work you do on behalf of our community. We are so honored, and your outstanding staff. I had the great pleasure this afternoon of listening in, watching the presentations and listening at what you were listening to, and I was greatly impressed, I tell you. And so, Dr. Doherty, first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Jim Holland, Chairman of the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors and a grateful community that values excellence in education, it's a pleasure to be here to congratulate you, sir, on your retirement. And, 3 words before I read the letter for Madam Clerk, before you read it. I want to say 3 words that come to mind that I wanted to share with you that I've been so impressed with, Dr. Doherty. First of all, your humility. On a number of occasions, I could outline them, but needless to say, your humility has shown your servant leadership attitude, your integrity. I applaud you and thank you for that. And as a board member of the Board of Supervisors, your accountability for all the resources we send, because we know you are doing well with it. You've done a great job. We've been so impressed. I want to thank you, because as we've sat in many meetings and I've listened to you, I've been so impressed. And so at this point, I would ask our Madam Clerk if she would kindly read this to you, sir, on behalf of the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors.
June
Madam
4th,
Clerk.
2024. Dear Dr. Daugherty, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I am writing to express our deepest appreciation for your extraordinary dedication and leadership you have demonstrated throughout your nearly 50 years of service in the field of education, and particularly during your tenure as the Superintendent of Chesterfield County Public Schools. Since joining Chesterfield County Public Schools as Superintendent on November 1st, 2018, your unwavering commitment to excellence and your steadfast belief in the principle that all means all has profoundly influenced the lives of countless students, educators, families, and community leaders. Your remarkable initiatives, including the establishment of Virginia's first Recovery High School program and Virginia's first K-8 virtual school, have not only expanded educational opportunities for students, but have also paved the way for transformative change within our education system. Your dedication to improving employee compensation and hiring practices, as well as your efforts to enhance communication with families, employees, and the community have fostered a culture of collaboration, transparency, and mutual respect. It is a testament to your exceptional leadership that during your tenure, the school division has consistently met state accreditation requirements and has garnered state and national accolades for its outstanding achievements in education. As you embark on your next chapter of your journey, please know that your legacy will endure as a source of inspiration and admiration for generations to come. We are immensely grateful for your profound impact you have had on our organization and the countless lives you have touched. On behalf of the Chesterfield County, please accept my heartfelt thanks and best wishes for a joyful and fulfilling retirement. May the years ahead be filled with joy, laughter, and new adventures, and may you take pride in the indelible mark you have left on the field of education. With deepest gratitude and warmest regards, James M. Jim Holland.
Thank you. Well done. Congratulations, man. All the best to you and your wife and family. All the best. Thank you. Thank you. All the best to you and your family. Thank you. Best wishes. Thank you, Madam Chair, for this time. Appreciate it. You with me? Okay.
No, stay put. Not so fast. We have one more resolution. Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution?
In appreciation of Dr. Mervyn Daugherty. Whereas Dr. Mervyn B. Daugherty is retiring at the end of August 2024 after a 47-year career in education. And whereas the Chesterfield County School Board deeply appreciates Dr. Daugherty's 6 years of outstanding leadership as superintendent of Chesterfield County Public Schools, which included successfully navigating the COVID-19 pandemic and the challenges it created. Whereas Dr. Daugherty excels at the big picture of public education, leading CCPS with the philosophy all means all and demonstrating a commitment to helping every student find a path to success while understanding that students need multiple options in order to succeed. And whereas Dr. Daugherty has created innovative programs that include Virginia's first Recovery High School program to assist students recovering from substance abuse disorders, Virginia's first K-8 virtual school, and the first pre-kindergarten school in Chesterfield County Public Schools. And whereas Dr. Daugherty also excels at ongoing demonstrations of support for staff members, including monthly Game Changer awards and regularly delivering treats to schools to boost spirits. And whereas Dr. Daugherty further excels at connecting with community partners interested in supporting the students, teachers, and schools of Chesterfield County Public Schools. And now therefore be it resolved that the Chesterfield County School Board thanks Dr. Daugherty for all that he has done for the students, employees, schools, and community partners of Chesterfield County Public Schools and wishes him the very best in his retirement.
Board members, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion?
I just want to say that as a parent sitting on the other side, always coming to these school board meetings, I appreciated the fact that if something was wrong, you called it out, right? You were not afraid to acknowledge the highs and the lows of what we were going through, and you immediately worked to correct them. And when we were doing great things, you weren't afraid to brag on our kids. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hopefully I can get through this. Thank you for guiding our school division during an interesting time in education, for being an amazing leader, for your out-of-the-box thinking, for making Chesterfield County the first in so many areas, as it's been mentioned, the first public preschool, the first online K-8 school, the first to have a recovery high school, and all the other 70-plus initiatives that you brought to the county. Thank you for your integrity, your unwavering support, and your humbleness. It's been an honor to know you and work alongside of you. You've made such an impact on so many people throughout your career, but most importantly, those being our students. I personally know the impact you've made on my children's lives, and your best friend's gonna miss you.
Madam Chair, we talk about the caliber of somebody. We had a very unfortunate incident at Spring Run Elementary School shortly after I was elected, and I was looking for accountability. I wasn't sure if I was going to find it, which is one of the reasons I ran for school board. On that evening, I saw a man stand up and took a public beating. But he made a comment to those that were in attendance, and he said, regardless of who did what, I am responsible. In that moment, I realized, as a school board member, that we had a very solid superintendent. Afterwards, if you know Dr. D, we were walking out in the parking lot, and I asked him, I said, "Are you okay?" And he looked at me and he said, "Mr. Peranto, the buck stops with me." So, Dr. D, that goes to speak to your character, to your integrity, and to the person that you represent yourself to be. At our graduation that we had 2 weeks ago or so, one of the things that Dr. D had said to the students, which resonated with many, was about your name. And he had stated something to the effect of, you will only represent yourself, and so let your name speak volumes. And I'm paraphrasing, it's not verbatim what he said, but he said that not out of opportunity to quote something that was maybe said by someone great, but he said it out of his own desire and his own ambition for how he holds and conducts himself. So, Dr. D, I do wish you all the best in your retirement, and very well deserved, sir.
This is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. So, in an effort not to repeat everything that has been said, I have worked with you for around 6 months, and I have come to admire you deeply. There's a theme that's repeated again and again, and it speaks to character. The character that you have, the character of your cabinet, the character of the principals, and then it trickles down into our students. And I see it everywhere, and I admire it, and I know it starts with you. Watching you, and I was thinking particularly about that incident. You are, and someone, Mr. Holland mentioned humility. Humility's been mentioned again and again. And humility doesn't mean that you don't know your worth. You know your worth. But if something is good, if someone gives you praise, you've done something fantastic, your first response is, my team behind me. You deflect that. And then, if something is not so great, you absorb it. That is a leader. And I have sat for 6 months in a huge master class on leadership. And for that, I can never thank you enough. I consider you a friend. I adore you. You are honestly watching the way you take Dr. Murray's jabs. I was in the hardware store the other day, and a constituent came up to me and mentioned it, and he's like, man, that guy, he really gives it to Merv. And I said, he does, doesn't he? And you take it and you laugh, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and it has been an honor, and you will be sorely missed, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Murray on my bingo card tonight, but that was a great reference. I think it does speak to your character. Yeah. I think he just said gloves are off. So. Merv, I was doing fine until Ann started talking, and then I found a tissue. So, you're an amazing leader. You're a great friend. You're a really good counsel. I have benefited from your wisdom. One of the best pieces of advice that you've ever given me. Don't ever let them take your joy. And I will carry that with me, and I hope that you have a long road of joy ahead of you with those grandbabies and enjoy your retirement to its fullest. Congratulations, it's well earned.
Thank you, sir.
Now you can sit down. If you're not ready now. Made it through 2 years of being on the school board with COVID and never cried at a school board meeting once, but next, we have public comment. Excuse me. For this meeting, citizens were given the option of submitting their comments online or in person. Comments submitted via the online form were sent to the board prior to the start of tonight's meeting and will be included in full as an addendum to the meeting minutes. Madam Clerk, would you please announce this evening's in-person speakers?
Madam Chair, we have 4 speakers this evening. They are Jason Young, Reno Patel, Christina Mahaya, and Sheila Ungur. Please, each speaker, you will have 4 minutes to address the board. There's a timer set up on top of the podium that will turn green when you begin speaking, yellow when you have 30 seconds remaining, and red when your time has expired. As a reminder, no personal belongings other than a cell phone and speaker notes are allowed at the podium. Please have your materials organized in a manner that as you arrive at the podium, you are prepared to start speaking. Please note that comments equivalent to campaigning for any public office are in violation of School Board Policy 1110 and are prohibited. May we have Jason Young?
Thanks, Alki. Madam Chair, members of the school board, Dr. D, congratulations. My name is Jason Young. I'm the Clover Hill representative and current chair of the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee, more commonly known as CBAC. I'm here tonight with my CBAC colleague, Reniel Patel, to provide CBAC's perspective and a little bit of input on the $23.6 million of unfunded priorities in the FY25 budget. I know we submitted our official letter to y'all. I trust that's in your packet for this evening as well. But Rita and I wanted to take a few minutes of public comment this evening to give a little additional perspective on that letter. So when the superintendent submits his proposed budget in February, he included a list of 10 priorities that totaled about $17.4 million that were collectively listed as unfunded priorities in the budget. Okay, so the superintendent, as we know, he's charged by statute to present a needs-based budget, meaning his budget reflects the current operating needs of CCPS, nothing more, nothing less. So when he presented a budget with $17.4 million worth of priorities that we didn't have funding for, that didn't mean that these items that are on that list are nice to have, or we can do with, and they're no more or less important than the rest of the $913 million that was in the budget. Simply meant that at the time of introduction, we didn't have revenue to fund them. So when CBAC presented to you in February, we fully endorsed the full funding of all of those unfunded priorities. We added 2 additional priorities of our own, eliminating the shared school counselor positions at CCPS schools and additional bilingual liaisons. And y'all, as a school board, added an additional priority on top of that, the annual substitutes. So this brings a total of $23.6 million for 13 unfunded priorities for the next fiscal year. And I want to be clear as CBAC, before we make our Sophie's choice of ranking these priorities, that we feel that all 13 of them need to be funded in the upcoming budget. And if after we learn the full impact of the new state funding on the CCPS budget, that there's still 1 or more of these priorities that isn't funded yet, that we engage our partners on the Board of Supervisors to fill any gaps that may exist. So now, having said that, we did go through a ranking process of the 13 priorities, and I wanted to provide you with just a little bit of input on our rankings. We had a bit of delineation between the top 5 and the remaining 8, so I'm going to cover the top 5, and Renal's going to discuss the remaining 8. Our 2 highest ranked priorities were retaining the high need school bonuses and the instructional assistant and custodial bonuses. These 2 were easy to rank the highest because if these were to be eliminated, these positions that we've already identified, right, as hard to fill, they'd be receiving a pay cut next year. And we cannot allow that to happen. Third on our list was targeted pay increases for speech language, OT, PT, social work positions, because our current pay scale here in Chesterfield is below the Richmond school market for these positions. This makes hiring of these licensed positions extremely difficult. Fourth on the list was funding to maintain the annual substitute program that was implemented several years ago. This was y'all's recommendation, right? So I suspect that you heard from teachers and most importantly, principals, right? The value of having this annual substitute position in their budget and the significant value that adds at their schools. And fifth on our list was $1 million to hire 9.5 full-time school counselors to eliminate the shared counselor position at 19 CCPS elementary schools. This has been a priority of SUBAC for 2 years running now.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thanks. I'm going to finish up for a second. And every child we know deserves access to their school counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it over to Renal. Almost got that in my 4 minutes.
Reno Patel.
Thank you, Jason. Good evening, everyone. My name is Renal Patel, and I am member at large of the CBAC. I thank you all for the opportunity to speak here today, and I would like to continue on and carry on where Jason left off. As he mentioned, the top 5, I'm going to continue on to talk about the 6 to the 13 listing we have here. On number 6, we have major maintenance. This has been a concern highlighted by CBAC over the past few years. And given that we have 67 buildings in the system, and over the past 4 years, the average cost is roughly around $28 million, we feel that this should be a non-negotiable item in the budget. And so this is a request to increase the budget allotment from $6 million to $9 million. Number 7 is the substitute pay to market, increasing the daily regular days rate for the substitutes from 117 to 132. Number 8 is additional bilingual liaisons. As you recall, this is one of the recommendations CBAC had provided in February, where we had identified additional 9 schools that could benefit from the bilingual liaisons, and this is primarily focused on Spanish-speaking communities. Number 9 is school security officers, expanding that to middle school and elementary school. Number 10, assistant principals to 12 months. Number 11 is the communities in school expansion to elementary school. Number 12 is the fuels increases. This is impacted from the 5% inflation. And number 13 is the MERV 13 filters. We understand that CBAC is providing you a list of priorities, but as Jason mentioned, please note that each and every item on this list is an importance for all the CBAC members. And we thank you for all the support you provide, and thank you for all that you do, and also for the opportunity to speak here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patel. May we have Christina Machaya?
Good evening. My name is Christina Mejia, and I'm not only a representative and resident of the county, but I'm also having the privilege of being an educator in Chesterfield. I'm here to bring something to the attention of the school board and advocate not only for myself, but for the other educators in our county. As many of you know, there's a nationwide teacher shortage. And while I do not have time to address all those issues of why this is occurring in our nation, I want to address a very short-sighted policy, and I'm going to use that loosely, in Chesterfield that is affecting students and teachers alike. It has come to my attention that there's an unspoken rule that is being called policy that all educators are being held to without their knowledge. This rule is regarding a cap on staff transferring within our county. If there is a current school that is at 25% of faculty leaving, the principal magically has the staff stay where they're at and doesn't give any insight as to why that's happening. Educators attempting to transfer after this cap have been reached are being blocked from transferring with potentially no explanation as to why they didn't get the job offer. To clarify, I want to make sure you're aware, I have worked with at-risk youth from Skid Row in Los Angeles to New York City. I am well aware of how important it is to have a steady adult in these schools, and I have worked with transient at-risk youth my entire career. So I understand why this is in place to a degree. However, I strongly disagree with the lack of transparency given to the educators. While I understand the importance of not fleeing the school, I feel like the school board needs to look at why educators are leaving certain schools and not take it out on their teachers. Administrators and HR do not understand that there are teachers willing to fill vacancies within our county and for whatever reason are being told nothing at all about why they aren't able to go somewhere, why they didn't get the job, or if they got the job and haven't had the opportunity to know what was going on. Due to the lack of communication, these teachers will begin to doubt themselves and why they didn't get the transfer. This short-sighted idea has led to valuable, licensed, and accredited educators fleeing Chesterfield for other counties that pay more, first of all, just to make you aware, costing everyone, including the students we are trying to protect. Positions won't get filled, and we will have more annual subs, which I appreciate, but they cannot write our lesson plans, and they are not as qualified as the teachers that we are losing. SOL scores will continue to plummet, and this county will not be as desirable as it once was. My hope is that you stop lying to educators, and because that's essentially what it is. Can you imagine going for a job and not knowing if you got it? I have been a boss before. I understand. You call and you say, hey, so sorry, we went in a different direction. It's that simple to let us know as people. We are being held hostage to an unspoken guideline without our knowledge. Why would Chesterfield want to lose teachers to other counties when we are willing to stay here and fill your vacant positions? This is not the climate to be so brazen, Chesterfield. So I ask that if this cap is something you truly believe needs to have happen and stay, please be transparent to us as educators. We deserve transparency from our employer, and do not have anyone make a decision for our families. I'm not okay with anybody other than myself choosing where me and my family should be. And I would ask also, on a personal note, if you just have HR speak more kindly to us and be more transparent with us, because it's hurtful. We are smart people. We deserve better than that. Thank you.
May we have Sheila Unger? Madam Chair, that concludes this evening's public comment.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have this evening's superintendent report. Dr. Dougherty.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I asked Sean Smith to come up on a meaningful moments from Henning Elementary School.
Thank you, Dr. Doherty. Coding, creativity, and conversion of energy came together in a LEGO education pinball project that connected high schools and elementary school students. Bird High engineering students coached Henning Elementary students as they built pinball machines.
Today we're at Henning Elementary School and we're teaching 4th and 5th graders with the Lego education kits through the pinball projects. A little bit about programming, engineering, and a little of science about energy. The project is based off of a Lego curriculum. The instructions and programming instructions are all found through the Spike Lego education website.
We had a presentation set up for the students and then we'd go around helping them with any troubles they had. I made a handout for all of them to fill out with us, the first part with us, and then with their teacher.
We made Lego robotic pinball machines. So we put it all together as partners and then we programmed it on our computers. We added some stuff and it was really hard to coordinate some stuff because ball kept getting stuck on the studs, all that stuff.
Seeing how the kids went about it in different ways, some were able to figure out pretty quickly in their own way how to build it or do the code. Some kids went on and explored their own coding solutions themselves, creating variable speeds. That was very interesting to see.
It's definitely different when someone you're not used to is telling you how to do something and teaching you about something different. But it's also exciting getting to, again, get to know different people and how they teach.
There's part of it where they add their own aspect to it, so everyone's can look a little bit different. And I think some of the kids, there was this one group who made little people on the sidelines watching theirs, and then had a bunch of little obstacles for their pinball top. So it was raised up, and it was just overall a really good project. And it was clear they were having fun working together.
It's been really great. These kids have been amazing. I don't even know why I'm here. They could have gone to the websites and figured it out themselves, but it's been really cool. I've forgotten how I was in 5th grade, and these kids are really impressing me.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for the presentation. Board members, any discussion? It's really cool stuff. I love what we're doing. Dr. Dougherty?
Madam Chair, next presentation this evening is the FY25 budget update. Ms. Campbell?
We spoke at length earlier this evening about the updates to the school budget, but I just want to encourage people who are listening from home or in the audience tonight to go back to the work session and watch in full. But just as a quick recap, the General Assembly did complete their budget on May 13th, and the governor signed that same night. We are currently evaluating the information provided by the VDOE on what revenues will look like. We intend to return with a full list of amendments on June 17th for your adoption and consideration. Current estimates suggest that we have about $18.5 million in unrestricted revenue to cover some of these unfunded priorities that you approved back in February. This list has been reorganized by the superintendent to indicate his priority order. The blue indicates what we expect to be able to fund. The pink isn't what we expect to not be able to fund moving forward. I know that during public comment, we heard from a couple citizens on what their priorities are and the orders they would suggest. I do want to note that the only difference between the February list and the list I present tonight is a recommendation to increase the substitute pay from the previously quoted $0.7 million to a full $1 million in order to keep up with the current market. Next steps, we are here tonight to understand what your priorities are. We expect to come back June 17th with a full recommendation on amendments in time for the June 26th Board of Supervisors meeting so that they can adopt any amendments that you all recommend before July 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Board members, is there any discussion? Okay, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Dr. Dougherty?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Merriman, on the 2024 graduations. Or surviving the 24.
Smart directors wore the same outfit.
Surviving.
Good evening, Ms. Heffron, Ms. Coker, school board members, and Dr. Doherty. I'm here, of course, just to share a couple bits of information regarding our graduations that took place just what seems to be so long ago, but really wasn't that long ago for this class of 2024. So as you guys all know, since you were all there and participating, graduations were held May 20th through the 28th. We utilized Virginia State, Virginia Commonwealth University, and also at CTC at Hall in our conference center for Carver and Career Academy. We had about 4,800 students who graduated. Of course, not all cross the stage. Some graduate early and they might be already moving on to their careers in the military, going on to college or doing other things. But we did have thousands of students crossing the stage, and I'm sure each of you probably, hopefully, have recovered with your arms and hands from all those handshakes that you guys were doing. And in those classes, we have senior class ranging from almost 600 at Thomas Dale to about 82 at Carver, of which 67 walked. So we really have such a wide range of senior class numbers in schools here in Chesterfield. It really does allow us to meet our students' needs. Dr. Hackett and his team helped 40 students earn their GED at Carver, so therefore it's not just our students gaining their typical comprehensive high school diploma, whereas Rebecca Harmon's team in adult education worked with over 42 adults to earn theirs as they've been moving forward. So we really are making sure that we wrap our arms around all of our students, whether they be 18 or a bit older, in order to make sure they're getting what they need to move on in their careers. Of course, I want to take a moment and thank each and every one of you guys for attending all of our graduation ceremonies and taking time to share some words. I'm going to shake all of our students' hands. I also thank the Board of Supervisors for attending the ceremonies to congratulate. I mean, I know for me personally, graduations are like the high point of the year. It really is. Everything that we do, everything we talk about here, every day that we work, it's to get those students to that point where they're able to cross that stage. And hopefully you guys all saw that sense of pride from the students, from the faculty, from the principals, from the parents, that excitement and joy. So thank you guys for being there. Thank you, Dr. Doherty, for your support of our schools and for our graduates. And of course, Dr. Tyler is always willing to pitch in. We will certainly miss both of you for next year, but keep in mind, I'm always looking out for volunteers. I can send you the dates, so if you don't want to, don't give me your cell phone numbers because I'll be calling you because I need always volunteer helpers when it comes to graduations. I want to thank the principals and their teams for the work that they did. Our students would not be where they are if it wasn't for the strong school leadership that we have. Our principals, our admins, our school counselors, our teachers work tirelessly to make sure that our students have what they need in order to cross that stage. Not only behind the scenes, but also like at the graduation ceremony. Hopefully you guys didn't notice any issues because they work really hard to make sure there never are. It really is an amazing event and they want to showcase so well for the community. So I really appreciate all the work that they do to make sure that it's a well-oiled machine and that every one of our students are able to get through. I also want to always thank transportation facilities. People don't realize how much work they do, also helping us make sure these events run well, between bringing various risers or musical instruments, making sure our students get there, making sure our faculty get there. They really are key partners in this graduation. I also want to thank Robin Yo and her colleagues. She's always there and they're always there, making sure that band and chorus are prepped and ready throughout all of their ceremonies. And hopefully you guys we have such tremendous talented students and they're there to make sure that they shine. I also want to thank our community relations department, of course, because they make sure that our families can watch at home if they're not able to be there, making sure all the jumbotrons and all the various pieces work, pieces that I don't even know what they are. I just know that I can ask them and they're going to work great, which is what you want. You want a team that's working with you that does what they're experts on and make sure it works smoothly. So I really appreciate all that they do. We have over 90 central office staff that came to help out and volunteer at each of our graduations throughout. They do that because they love seeing that support from the families and that joy in there. So I really thank them for that because we really rely upon each of them to make sure they run smoothly. And it really, as I said already, it helps me remember what we do every day when you get to see those excited faces. So once again, thank you guys all for what you've done to help get us where we are, and hopefully you guys enjoyed your time because you have a few more along the way that you'll be participating in, including one this summer. And when we do our summer graduation at the end of July for our students who are summer graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Merriman. Board members, is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, Dr. Merriman, you stood here and thanked many people for what they have done. And if I may be so bold to say, we really need to thank you and your leadership. Being my first graduation season, you met me at the door at VSU, and you went over everything and asked me, do you want to walk where you're going to walk? Do you want to see where your speech is? Do you want to? And I felt so comfortable and at ease because of the way you had orchestrated things, and it was seamless. And so I want to thank you very much for the amount of time. And also, I want to go out on a limb here, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this. You were faced with a very unique situation during graduation season where you had to step away and handle some family emergency. And I know for a fact that even though you were handling family, you were still checking in with your peers to make sure that graduation was going on as seamless as possible. So that speaks tremendously to your character and your dedication to Chesterfield County Public Schools. So thank you very much for all that you have done this graduation season.
Well, thank you so much. And luckily I have, and I left them out and I should not have, but Kathleen Clark, my administrative assistant, and Kathy Bowling, Joe's administrative assistant, they truly are, they do yeoman's work for me. And we are so fortunate to have them because each of you, I'm sure, were tasked or helped to get dressed or were prepped or something by the two of them because they really make sure that these run just as seamlessly. So we really are so fortunate, but thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Merriman, it was a beautiful, beautiful celebration of our students' achievements and our faculty and staff's efforts to support them. And thank you again to you and your team. I think Kathleen said it's like organizing, event planning for 11 weddings, I think it was, but that are all happening in the same week. Yeah, so.
Luckily, it's not our own budget. Like, luckily, we're not spending our own checkbooks necessarily, but 11 weddings would feel like it.
Yeah, 11 weddings in a week. Well, you pulled them all off very well. It was lovely, and I think a very special celebration of all of our graduates. So thanks for all you do.
Well, thank you.
Board members, I do have a point of, I guess, correction. We had a motion and a second on the adoption of the resolution for Dr. Dougherty, but we did not do a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on that motion?
Sure. Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion passes. Congratulations, Dr. Dougherty. It was a nail biter. It was a nail biter. Mr. Smith, next we have action items.
Madam Chairman, board members, Dr. Dougherty, you have two policy packets. I'll go through each. I also will note that you'll have one additional policy packet coming before you June 17. That's a larger packet of about, right now it's up to about 30 policies that we'll be having to revise in anticipation of the law changes that take effect July 1. Memo 08824, staff recommends revisions to current policies and regulations as follows. Review with no changes to policy 1170, review with no changes to policy 1230, review with no changes to policy 2023, revisions to policy 2159, revisions to policy 2160, reviewed with no changes to policy 4137, revisions to policy 4150, revisions to policy 4160, revisions to policy 5081, review with no changes to policy 7070, reviewed with no changes to policy 7090, reviewed with no changes to policy 7130. Proposed changes have been reviewed by the school board attorney. It is recommended the school board approve the above referenced proposed revisions to current policies and regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board members, may I have a motion to approve Memo 8824 as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion? Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye, the memo is approved. Next, we have Memo 8924 with Mr. Smith.
Staff recommends revisions to current policies and regulations as follows. Review with no changes to policy 5010, review with no changes to policy 5020, Review with no changes to policy 5030. Review with no changes to policy 5050. Revisions to policy 5070. Revisions to policy 5100. Reviewed no changes to policy 5130. Reviewed no changes to policy 5160. Proposed changes have been reviewed by the school board attorney. It's recommended the school board approve the above referenced proposed revisions to policies and regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board members, may I have a motion to approve Memo 8924 is presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion? There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The memo is approved. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Next, we have Memo 9024 with Mr. Thuma.
Evening, Chairman, board members, Dr. Daughtry. This evening, I'm bringing before you a proposed change to the spring run storage overhaul, ice tank overhaul. This project started in 2023, in which we were just doing the internal upgrades and repairs to the tank. Whenever we started to work, we realized that first the covers were done, we were finishing up the job, and of course the bladders start leaking. We brought out an engineer. He looked at them and said, yeah, they need replaced. When they are replaced, this will have put another 30 years back onto this ice tank, and we'll be able to build ice at night, lowering the peak of that school with energy use during the day.
Thank you, Mr. Thuma. Board members, may I have a motion to approve Memo 9024 as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The memo is approved. Thank you, Mr. Thuma. Next, we have the discussion agenda. Mr. Smith?
Madam Chairman, board members, Dr. Doherty, you have before you memorandum number 091-24. The school district's 13th middle school is under construction on Westerly Parkway in the Matoka District. And formerly known as the Western Area Middle School, it's scheduled to open in August 2025. School Board Policy 6160 gives the board the prerogative to name schools and identifies opportunities for public engagement in this process. Potential names for the new 1,800 student middle school were solicited from the public for 2 weeks in February, and 578 responses were submitted. Attendance zones have not been determined, but students attending the new school are expected to come primarily from the neighborhoods currently zoned for Tomahawk Creek Middle. Based on the recent practice of involving impacted school communities in the naming process, PTA leaders at Tomahawk Creek Middle reviewed and submitted names and forwarded 3 recommended names to the school board for consideration: Otterdale Middle School, Otterdale Branch Middle School, Otterdale Grove Middle School. An online survey sought additional community input about which of these 3 possibilities was preferred. The survey received 850 responses. 76% preferred Otterdale Middle School, 14% preferred Otterdale Grove Middle School, and 9.9% preferred Otterdale Branch Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board members, is there any discussion? Ms. Chatters?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. So the board received some information regarding the historical significance of the names that were selected from the Historical Society. And we learned, I'm not a Virginia native, so I was not familiar, so it was an education for me as well, about the historical significance of Otterdale itself, and the legacy of Otterdale Farms, and the legacy of the fact that the owner of Otterdale Farms owned enslaved people there. So my recommendation after learning about the history of the name is that we don't use any form of that name at our school. I feel that it's a way forward to not continue to acknowledge things from our past that don't need to be glorified. And so if we can, in the name, that would be my recommendation. And considering it's not my district, I would just prefer that we distance ourselves as much as possible from anything related to slavery and of people who owned people, because we are evolved as a society, we know better now, and we should start doing better.
Thank you, Ms. Chatters. Any other discussion? Mr. Pronto?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To my colleague's point, very sensitive topic when we are addressing things of our past that are things that, quite frankly, we should be ashamed of how we acted in that time period. And so it does speak volumes for a community to recognize that past and to educate on that past and not to sweep that past away. As a representative of the Matoaca District, I have spent a lot of time in communication with members of the Matoaca District, presenting them with this information that we were informed of, as Ms. Chatters alluded to, from the Historical Society and the reference of Otterdale Farm. And Otterdale was not a person. Otterdale was the name used after Otter Creek, which was water that was then used to irrigation, if you will, onto the land at that time. The process of that to send the irrigation from the creek to the farm was used by enslaved labor. And so with that knowledge, I went to folks in the Matoaca District and presented this information and asked them, what would you have us do as a board? How would you, if you were on the board, how would you vote? And to my constituents in Matoaca, quite a few were very vocal in stating that the name Otterdale should be used as an education point. It should not be swept under the rug or ignored, but rather used to educate our community as to once what was, to honor those that were enslaved, to bring that education to light, and to champion that area to move forward. As what took place, egregious, absolutely, but to educate. To quote one of the constituents in Matoaca, please don't erase our past. This person spoke from extreme wisdom in regards to her particular past, tracing her ancestry into slavery, and stated, if you erase that, then who will know what happened? I thought that was extremely profound. And so I do understand where Ms. Chatters is coming from. No one wants to champion anything in regards to a despicable past. I 100% understand that and have had the opportunity to speak with the constituents. But I will represent my constituents who have said to educate, to move forward with the name Otterdale Middle School, to work with the Historical Society to put up a plaque at the middle school to acknowledge that area, what took place in the early to mid 1800s, and to educate our students as to what happened and where we have come from and where we are now. We're not finished with getting better. We have a lot still to do. But to honor our past and to honor those that were so wrongly treated is the resounding response that I received from members in the Matoaca District. And so for that, I do appreciate my colleague and her concerns and expressing that reverence that has been so intellectually put, which I greatly appreciated. But hearing the members of Matoaca and having spoken with them, I do believe it is in the best interest of our community to move forward with the name Otterdale Middle School. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Pronto. Board members, any other discussion? Ms. Chatters, your mic is on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So respectfully to the constituents of Matoaca, and I understand the intent behind that particular constituent's opinion. But I also, there's a time and a place for everything, in my opinion, and we have Virginia Studies as a lesson, and we can learn about the history of the things closest to Chesterfield during that portion, not necessarily putting that marker on a building is my concern. And if we have so many more schools to name. And so whatever we decide this time, will set a precedent for the future schools that we name. And I would like for everyone to agree that we can still teach the lesson without glorifying the name. Be it a person, a plantation, a farm, it's still a place of oppression. It's still a place, and it's disturbing to have to explain why it's not okay to do. I understand teaching our history and teaching the truth. No issue with that whatsoever. I just think it has a time and a place. And if we wanted to glorify or give reverence, because that's the word you use, reverence, then why don't we research the names of the enslaved people that were there and name the school after one of them? Because naming it Otterdale to me does not signify reverence. It's just a constant reminder. And it's hard to put in words if you walk by a school that you know your great, 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 great ancestors worked there, not by choice, right? It doesn't feel good to me to be able to walk into that place. So I would really humbly ask that we just, as a suggestion, just throwing it like magnolia, right? It's a beautiful tree. It's the area. Why can't we just do that? Like if we stay away from things that are harmful to people, harmful memories, but still teach the lesson in the school environment, not that I need to walk into a building every day and be reminded that potentially cousins or ancestors of mine were owned by this farm that's down the street, that this plaque is gonna be there to explain that to me. I don't want to walk into a place like that every day. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Board members, any other discussion? If there's no other discussion on this, I would like to submit that we, as a board, engage an outside partner to establish some naming conventions going forward. As Ms. Chatters mentioned, we have many schools coming online in the future, and I think it would be helpful for us to have a clear guiding document that establishes what is and isn't acceptable to this board as far as, recognizing the history, walking that line, as you said, between reverence and honoring. And, we certainly, I think we are all aligned that that this board does not seek to elevate in any way any person or organization that exploited the labor of enslaved people. And I think if we can all work with a partner to establish what is important to us and what our guiding principles are, that would be helpful going forward. And I think it would also give us an opportunity to establish a process to identify and audit existing schools, so that we can see if there are any other opportunities for us to contextualize names, all of that based on the guidelines that we could establish through those naming conventions. If we had a guiding document, guiding principles that we could look to. I would be comfortable with that going forward, being our process going forward. Any other comments from board members regarding this topic? Ms. Coker.
So in line with, guiding principles, I would also say that for the committee that gets together to actually present the names, right? So we had the PTA at Tomahawk, is that correct? That got together and gave us options to consider, that they're also a part of or understanding what these guiding principles are, because again, in every single suggestion that they provided to us had Otterdale as an option in the name. And I do think we need to look at, one, making sure everyone is aware of the historical perspective down to the intricate detail of, is Otterdale a person's name? Well, it was not. What did it represent? And that goes forward for the school names that are going to be coming before us in the future. But it's important that what's presented to us has that same level of understanding. And lastly, that it is that community that is putting those names before us, right? So it is their district, it is their community that is looking for the naming of whatever the school may be. And we have to respect that too.
Ms. Chatters?
Two things. I have no issue with a committee being established going forward to help us determine names and things of that nature and historical significance. I just want to make sure I understood what I'm hearing correctly. So if the community that the school is going to overwhelmingly supports naming the school after something that we can all agree is reprehensible, we should support what that district wants to do. Is that what I heard?
I think whatever the guidelines, that if we're going to bring in a third party to review whatever our guidelines are, that committee also has to understand what those guidelines are too, because again, we're asking the community to give us naming suggestions. That's been our practice and our policy. So that too has to be brought forth as well to that committee. That's what my statement was. Does that make sense? No?
The committee will be advised by the Historical Society to help them with that decision, because last group was like the
I don't know if it was the Historical Society that you were suggesting.
My suggestion would be a third party that could help guide us through something that has experience guiding organizations through something similar. There are organizations that come to mind that work on building inclusive communities, and I would want to seek their counsel in establishing these guidelines. And I agree with Ms. Coker that whatever guidelines this board adopts would need to be applied universally to any committee any ad hoc naming committee that we would have that would be recommending names, that they would have to adhere to those. I mean, as anything else, if you're a part of a committee, a standing committee for the school board, you would follow school board policy.
Understood. Thank you.
Of course. Ms. Hudgens?
To all of your points, I would assume that part of this committee would be a very cursory, but the alert came from one of my constituents who did an extremely surface level research on, AKA Google, real fast, on this name. And she found what she found in under 3 minutes. And so I just don't think that Googling the name was part of the protocol heretofore. And I would assume that would be one of our line items that we check off, on our protocol moving forward, because you are correct. We do have many schools coming up that need to be named, and I think that is a really wise suggestion to have policy in place that will, because to speak to the points made, none of us wants to honor something such as slavery. Not one person up here does. So that's in an effort not to do that, we will set these policies in place, and moving forward, this will not be an issue. It's very, very simple in this regard to help, Google it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hudgens. Board members, any other discussion?
Mr. Smith, can I ask you just a quick question in regards to a timeline? I know that there are preparations that need to be made for the opening of the school. If we had time, how much would it be?
Informally, I think, given the gravity of this conversation, I think what I'm hearing from the board is, I mean, you want to have a deliberate discussion. So I think, obviously, this fall would be the preference from a staff perspective. But I think given kind of the gravity of this conversation, I think we'd want to work with you to understand the timeline the board wants to take with regards to establishing these protocols, and then we'll work closely as staff to make sure that amends to your timeline.
Thank you for your flexibility and accommodation of that. Board members, any other comments regarding this matter? Mr. Paranto.
Madam Chair, thank you. Agree that we should have more stringent guidelines in place to guide our community members when selecting a name for a school. And at the same time, listening to our community members, to the constituents that we represent, and understanding their thought processes and their input, I think, is extremely important. As it currently stands, regardless of the name given by the community, leaves it up to the board to say, we hear you, but we want to name it Blue Sky, middle school. We have the ability as a board to do that. I caution on that because our constituents have a voice, and that's why we're here. And I think it's extremely important to listen to what's being said, both sides. But to listen to what's being said from our constituents. I just want to be careful in having a third party, putting guidelines into place and what have you. I want to make sure, at least for myself, representing the Matoaca District, that we are listening to those whose voices are the ones that we're representing on the board. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paranto. Board members, if there's no other comments. Next, we have items for board review. Madam Clerk, would you please read these items for the evening?
Madam Chair, tonight's agenda includes the following items for board review. Number 1, Magisterial District Improvement Funds, FY 2024. Number 2, FY 2024 April expenditures versus appropriations. Number 3, Budget Change Request Summary across categories, April 2024. Number 4, Memo Number 092-24, Projected Financial Summary of Participants Entering the Supplemental Retirement Program, SRP. Number 5, Gifted Education Advisory Committee Annual Report, 2023-24. Number 6, Board Committee Reports. And number 7, Pre-K Update, April 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have this evening's superintendent's remarks. Dr. Dougherty, was there anything you'd want to say?
Well, there's a lot I want to say, but just kidding. There's a proverb, a Vietnamese proverb that says, when eating the fruit, remember the one who planted the tree. And so right now, I want to thank the staff members that are here. These are the guys who do it every day. So I just want to thank you guys. They are tremendous, and they're fantastic people, and that's important. Some good news, Cosby boys soccer in the state semifinals, they won tonight, and Midlow softball team won tonight, so they're in the state semifinals. So always good to hear about our teams. And there's still a lot to do. And so I appreciate everyone here, appreciate the hard work we give. We still have a budget to get through the next couple of weeks, and that's exciting. But I leave you with this quote from Mr. Rogers. Anyone who does anything to help a child in his life is a hero to me, and you're a hero to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dougherty. feel like you were holding back. I'm gonna hit his, all right. Yeah, okay, he's got, still got one more meeting in him. Next, we have announcements, communications, and school board comments. Board members, are there any announcements or comments? The school board, oh, Mr. Pronto, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the community knows, we are doing our due diligence to secure our next superintendent, and I want to thank the many people, staff members, teachers, parents, students, who have committed their time to taking the survey that was sent out, answering the questions, and that does help guide what is going to happen next in regards to the next superintendent. So for those that have taken that, thank you. We obviously don't know each individual and who you are, but we know what you're saying, and by the way you're answering the questions. And so, this is the job of the school board, is to hire the next superintendent to lead Chesterfield County Public Schools. And it is not a responsibility that I think any one of my fellow colleagues take lightly. And we heavily rely on our community to speak and for us to understand what your concerns are, what you're looking for in your next superintendent. And so just greatly appreciate the community at large for participating in the survey that was sent out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pronto. The school board will hold a work session on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, here in the public meeting room. If there's no further business, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Todd Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. The June 4, 2024 school board business meeting is adjourned.